Da 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 dum tum tum tum. Ta da da dum tum. Oh yeah yeah. Well, hello guys and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're gonna work on pronunciation and accent because I found a video on YouTube which is called Learn English with Eminem, which is actually an extract of one of his songs. So we're gonna use that video to work on pronunciation, and I wanna show you some of the sounds that are very important in English whenever you wanna work on pronunciation and accent. So here, obviously, it's gonna be more about American English than British English, even though, in a song, it doesn't really matter. You can hear differences, but it's not a problem anyway. Like if you work on British English, it's fine. You can still watch that video. It's gonna be useful anyway. All right, so let me go grab my Chromebook because we're gonna divide that exercise in many steps, and I'm gonna show you how to work with a song whenever you want to learn or practice a foreign language. So we're gonna see that in different steps. All right, let me try to find the video. We're gonna listen to it once and then I'm gonna explain how to proceed. Learn English with Eminem. I will put a link to the original video in the description box if you wanna check it. And I'm gonna show you on the screen the most important, which is the lyrics and also all the symbols. So, prior to any exercise related to pronunciation, and especially this one working with a song, what I suggest you to do is to learn the IPA. What's the IPA? It's the International Phonetic Alphabet. And this is gonna be very useful for you whenever you see an unknown word to be able to recognize some patterns and guess more or less how to pronounce it. Of course, there are exceptions, and it's always good to check it twice. But it's gonna be very useful for you to discover new words and know more or less how to pronounce them. So that's the thing. I'm going to show you now an image of the IPA and all the symbols, but you can find it on Google. It's very easy. You just type IPA English. Type English if you're learning English, but if you're learning any other language, of course, type the name of that language, because depending on the language, you will have a different one, because not all languages have the same sounds. Obviously, so you need to focus on the one language that you're trying to learn. So the second step is going to be to check the words, check the lyrics, and just read them out loud. All right, so those are the lyrics. His palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. There's vomit on his sweater already, mom's spaghetti. He's nervous, but on the surface he looks calm and ready to drop bombs, but he keeps on forgetting what he wrote down. The whole crowd goes so loud, he opens his mouth, but the words won't come out. He's choking how everybody's joking now. The clocks run out, time's up, over, blow. So first, you see, you don't need to go too fast. Actually, it's better to focus on pronunciation, and that's why IPA is gonna be very useful to you, because here you see the person who uploaded that video is actually very good at adding some of the symbols, the phonetics, under the words to know more or less how to pronounce them. So obviously, it's only the main sounds that are maybe complicated sometimes to differentiate or to pronounce. You don't have to copy all the phonetics everywhere, just add some of the sounds, especially the ones you have some problems with when it comes to pronunciation, and try to train yourself. So you need to pay attention. Depending on the language, you have different things, to take into account. For instance, in English, we're gonna pay attention to the musicality, the rhythm, the stressed syllables, and the length of some sounds. So first, try to read the words out loud. You don't really need the rhythm. Just try to read the words and pay attention to all of those. Be confident and comfortable with pronunciation, and then you can try to add a little bit of speed. What you need to pay attention as well is the link between words. So what happens sometimes is that at school, for instance, when it comes to English, people will tell you that whenever you have a word that starts with H, you need to pronounce the H. But it's not always the case, especially in a sentence, so that's why I say learn everything in context in a full sentence, because it's gonna be easier for you to pronounce. Sometimes what happens is you don't need to pronounce the H, or at least it's milder than what it should be. For instance, when we check the sentence here, there's vomit on his sweater. Probably in the song it's gonna be more, there's vomit on his sweater. It doesn't have to be that strong. You don't need to say there's vomit on his sweater, because you see how unnatural it sounds if I say there's vomit on his sweater. There's vomit on his sweater. You see, it sounds way better. It flows better. There's vomit on his sweater already. Mom's spaghetti, he's nervous, right? So all of that is very important. Just focus on this, on silent letters, the link between words, pronunciation, the tone, the musicality, and of course, all the different sounds, okay? Then you will have to check. So here it's actually really well made again in that video because it's done already, but of course with another song you would have to do it yourself. So you really need to pay attention when you listen to it many times and write down, you know, all the moments where words are linked together and where you have like different sounds, so you can write everything on your paper if you write down the words. And then in English there's a sound that is very important. I'm sure that you heard of it. It's called schwa. Schwa is the sound that is the most used and the most pronounced in the English language. So it's very important to know it. It's very easy to produce. It's Schwa is You don't even need to move your mouth. It's right? So here in that extract, you can see that there's a lot of schwa sound. Okay, it's represented by that symbol. And so here we're gonna pay attention to everything I said before, plus the schwa and the links between the words. And we're gonna try little by little to follow the song. So here I listened to it already many times. So I'm just gonna try to read it, but with a bit more rhythm. And then I will try to add some speed to follow the song and be able to sing over it. His palms are sweaty. And you see here, for instance, I'm stopping already, but the R, you see, he crossed actually the end of the verb are, because in the sentence you don't hear it as much. So it's not his palms are sweaty, it's are sweaty, are sweaty, are sweaty. It's like are sweaty, are sweaty. His palms are sweaty. Knees weak, arms are heavy. There's vomit on his sweater already. Mom's spaghetti, he's nervous. But on the surface he looks calm and ready to drop bombs. But he keeps on forgetting what he wrote down. The whole crowd goes so loud. He opens his mouth but the words won't come out. He's choking how? Everybody's joking now. The clock's run out, time's up, over, blow. So first, you see, you need to pay attention to many things. As I said, for instance, in line 4, it says, but he keeps on forgetting. You see, again, the H in he is not really pronounced because of the link between but and he. So you're gonna say buddy, buddy keeps. And as well, you need to pay attention because here we work on American English to reduce your T's. So the T's are not really pronounced like T's, but like these. So it's not butty, but it's like buddy. Like buddy, like my friend, you know, my buddy. It's kind of the same thing here. Buddy keeps on forgetting. And you see, it's not forgetting, it's forgetting. What he wrote down, again, we don't pronounce the H. What he wrote down, the whole crowd goes so loud. He opens his mouth, but the words won't come out. And you have to make all of this short, you know. You need to use the links, especially in rap. Because Eminem is so fast, you know, like you can't pronounce all the sounds. It's impossible. It would sound terrible, honestly. If I pronounce all the H, it sounds really bad. Take the 5th line, for instance, and we're gonna see how it sounds if I pronounce the H. The whole crowd goes so loud, he opens his mouth. It's even complicated, you know, like he opens his mouth. It's impossible. So it's gonna be he opens his mouth. He opens his mouth, right? It's a lot better already, like it sounds a lot better. It has to flow, you know, it has to feel like everything is together, like there's no cut in your sentence. So try to do that many times and then try to sing along and really don't forget to listen to it many times because you need to actually mimic the singer. So you need to do what we call a shadowing. It's an exercise of shadowing. Shadowing is like when you copy something, when you copy someone. So for instance, in boxing, shadowing is like when you fight alone and you just look at yourself in the mirror, for instance, and you just like imagine that you're fighting, basically. Here in language learning, it's the same thing, but you just copy what you hear. So you try to mimic the accent, you try to copy the pronunciation, and that's how you're gonna get better. You just need a lot of practice. But here, basically, once you add a little bit of rhythm, that you practice everything, you are able then to follow the singer and you will get used to the right pronunciation from the beginning. It's really a good exercise whenever you want to work on pronunciation. So now let's see if I can follow actually that extract. His palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy, there's vomit on his sweater already, mom's spaghetti, he's nervous. But on the surface he looks calm and ready to drop bombs, but he keeps on forgetting what he wrote down. The whole crowd goes so loud, he opens his mouth but the words won't come out. He's choking how? Everybody's joking now, the clock's run out, time's up, over, blow. So I'm sorry about what you just heard. I'm not a singer, I'm sorry about that. But the point is, for pronunciation, it's gonna be a very good thing. And as well, it's very satisfying because, you know, like there's a lot of people and it's like, yeah, no, yeah. And you don't know the lyrics, you know, it sounds ridiculous. So whenever you're able to actually recognize the words and understand the story, understand the song, it's way more satisfying. You're happy about yourself, you work on pronunciation, and at least you feel good and you appreciate the song even more because you understand it. So that's a very good exercise and I really recommend it. Mouth, but the words won't come out. He's choking how? Everybody's joking now. The clock's run out. Time's up, over, blow. Alright guys, I hope you liked it. If you did, please make sure to leave a thumbs up and a comment if you have any question or if you have any suggestions for future videos. And I'll see you in the next one.